Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to talk about how much water do I need to drink? And that's a very common question which I get often when we start any kind of a weight loss program. One of the recommendations is to increase your water intake. And commonly people would ask, how much water do I need to drink? So that's the question which I'm going to address today. But before I get into the technicalities and the science, behind how much water one needs, I want to just bring forth a very interesting topic, which is something called as a spirit science or spirituality of water. Even though I'm a scientist and a skeptic, but I also have been lately getting into spirituality and reading a lot more of interesting things outside the scientific world. So water has a very interesting topics which I read recently. In Hindu philosophy and Hindu spirituality, water is very sacred. It's one of the five essential elements which are known as Panch Tattva in Hinduism, and that's Agni, Vayu, Bhumi, Jal, Surya. And so once again, that's Agni, which is fire, Bhumi, which is earth, Jal, which is water, Vayu, which is air, and sun, which is Surya. So these are the five essential elements of life, and water is one of the very essential elements. And the water god is known as Varun Devta, who's prayed by most of the Hindus before their major ceremonies. And in Hindu villages, they do pray to the pot of water, being thankful that they have good water to drink. And in Hindu temples, there is something called as tirtham, which the priest offers to all the people who are attending the temple. This is basically a drop of water which is supposed to be filled with divine energy, blessed by the gods to whom this was offered with all the positively charged emotions and spirituality. Lastly, outside the Hinduism, there was a Japanese study by Emoto who said when you actually energize your water with good emotions, the molecular structure of the water changes. And if you have bad emotions, the molecular structure looks completely different. This is not the chemical structure. The water is still chemically H2O, but this is the structure which you see under the microscope. And that's very interesting. Once again, I have not incorporated that into my lifestyle, but what I do feel is we should be thankful that we all have good water to drink. Earth has enough water to support our lifetime, and hopefully we will be cautious to make sure that our coming generations have enough water. And then lastly, treat your water with reverence and be thankful. So let's move on to the main question, which is how much water do I need to drink? To this, I always say there is not a single answer to your question. There's no one formula which fits all of us. There's not a single blanket rule which I can apply to all the people who come to me and say, how much water do I need to drink? It's just like how I treat a hypertensive patient. I do not give one drug to all my hypertensive patients. I do talk to them and find what exactly is going on and formulate a regimented medication regimen for them and give them individualized regimen of blood pressure medication. Same thing with the water. It depends on where you're coming from. So if you are an athlete, you're running a marathon in a hot summer day, your water intake is going to be much more than the person who is sitting in front of the computer and does not do any activity. He's very sedentary, so that water intake is different. On the other hand, if you have high fever, or if you're in a hot sun, or if you have some kind of infection or stress going on in the body, your water intake will increase much more than your baseline water intake. The key question you should be asking is, what's the right amount of hydration for me? Not how much water do I need to drink. I cannot give you an exact number, but the key question is, how much hydration do I need? And that is based on all the other things which we talked about. Once again, whenever you're starting water intake, please go with the rules of moderation and gradual change. You do not want to bring a huge amount of water all of a sudden on one fine day because that can lead to medical problems like hyponatremia, which can be deadly. So you want to slowly incorporate drinking water on a daily basis, increase your amount and see how your body takes it. Go gradual, go with moderation, and bring it to a level which you need. Institute of Medicine does have some recommendations. Once again, these are not hard and fast guidelines. They are very fluid recommendations telling how much water one should drink. Average woman should drink 91 ounce of water, which is equal to 11 cups, or in metric system, it's equal to 2.7 liters a day. Average man, on the other hand, 125 ounce of water, which is equal to 15 cups of water, or in metric system, it is 3.1 liters a day. And once again, I'll repeat myself. Please listen to your body. Please listen to your thirst. They tell you the right things to do. If you're thirsty, your body wants water, go ahead and drink. Look at your urine color. So if your urine color is light lemonade, you're getting enough water. If it is really dark, concentrated, amount of urine is much lesser, then you're not getting enough water. Maybe you need to increase the water intake. There are some diseases where there is strict water restriction, and there are many such diseases, but the key diseases are cirrhosis, end-stage liver disease. If you're on dialysis, if you have congestive heart failure, you have to watch out how much water you take. You cannot follow the increase your water intake rule. You have to talk to your doctor about that. On the bottom, I have listed the website where you can go and read all about water, water physiology, the scientific facts, and it's a good article. So now that we have talked about water, I'm going to go around and show you the practical tips how I incorporate water. I do have a bunch of water bottles here I'm going to show. You may say, why so many bottles? But between the 4 family members, I pack 4 school lunches and 4 gym bags have water bottles. So there are enough water bottles needed, and on the go, sometimes we just grab a bottle and go. I'll start with different types of bottles. That's the usual typical Gatorade bottle. It has the spout. I can tip it and drink it, squeeze it as much as I want. Sometimes I also use it to squeeze some water on my face, and it has a very fine mist which comes. That's an advantage of a Gatorade bottle. My daughter is in the track team, and she does Nordic skiing. So for her, this works very well. When she's on the go, she can squirt some water on her face to cool down her body temperature on a hot sunny day. And at the same time, she can use the spout and drink as much as water as she wants. I usually put a label on all my water bottles because I tend to lose quite a bit of water bottles, and this is how my bottles come back to me. The nurses bring it back to me and give it to me whenever they see me that I've forgotten my water bottle. This water bottle I like because it has a very easy spout, easy handle to carry the bottle. It has a narrow base, and I usually carry it around because it's so convenient to go around with this bottle. And this is a Contigo bottle. This, I usually like it because it has the press button mechanism and the spout just comes up. You can squeeze the spout, drink, and close it on the times when you don't need it. It's one hand mechanism, so if I'm on the treadmill, I usually do not need to open the cap. I can just press the button, the spout opens, I drink, and then you can close it. This again has a spout to drink, but this does not have a button, so it needs a little bit more manual dexterity to raise the spout and drink the water and close the spout compared to a Contigo bottle. And these 2 bottles are one of my favorites because they're very easy. They're narrow neck, they're steel, they're double insulated, and very easy to carry, and I can put them in the lunch boxes of my kids, and that really is convenient for me. The size of the bottle is pretty good, and I got that from Target. I somehow like the Voss bottle because it's so contemporary shape, and I just feel very special when I'm drinking water in a Voss bottle. My kids always present me a Voss on all of my birthdays and Mother's Day. They know how much I love Voss bottle. Lastly, this is my copper. This is a completely different topic of discussion, why you should put water in your copper container. And we'll come to that at some point, but a quick two statement primer is the copper from the copper pot gets into the water. It changes the pH of the water. It kills the microbes and makes your water better than what it is. So if you have the time and patience, you should try this. And I usually have this container left with the water stored at the room temperature, and then I use that water. These are the gadgets which go inside the water bottle. This, my daughter fills it with strawberries, blueberries, puts in the bottle, and the water is basically infusing with the blueberries or strawberries or cucumbers or mint or ginger. So go ahead with the choice of your selection. The choices are endless. This is again much smaller, but this has a cap and you can fill whatever you want. And that goes inside the bottles also. This is usually something which I use if I'm using chia seeds or anything like that, which makes the water very thick. Then this helps to kind of loosen up and break up the big chunks. Or if I'm doing smoothies, then this goes inside the smoothie where it breaks up the chunks and makes it more liquidy to drink. This is something which I don't use, but my family who are much more athletic than me, play sports or run Nordic ski, I like to give it to them. It's basically, I feel they're chemicals, but they do have a lot of minerals and potassium and magnesium, which leaches out if you're sweating too much. So these are like kind of a Gatorade style, but they're little packets. They're easy to carry. If you feel like, you can add it. If you don't feel like, you can just drink plain water. So I like these different types of sachets which I have here. And that's with the cold water, but I'm going to just quickly show you one more. These are my hot water or tea dispensing containers. They're different varieties, different styles. And this is a bottle I got from Target. The company is called Migo. It has 12 hours, the fluid remains hot. So when I need to take it on a longer days, I can make tea and take it in that. This is a Yeti bottle, which my husband got from Optum, free, but an excellent quality bottle. One of the very good companies called Yeti. And it again has a 9 hours of keeping it warm quality. These are usual typical smoothie cups, which my daughter has accumulated over the course of different fundraisers and charities. That's a St. Jude research hospital for which she raised money. Those two are my Contigo bottles. Once again, the drinks remain hot for a very long time. I take them on the go. They're much easier to hold, and I just grab it, go, fill it with tea, and drink and sip all day long. These are my different selection of teas. And once again, the myriad of teas which is available in the market is endless. I'm not going to talk about it in this session, but we can come back to that. Only thing I'll tell you is this is called Kava tea, which is a green tea from Kashmir, and it has a beautiful cinnamon flavor, a little bit of almond flakes, and it is I don't think it has any carbohydrates, but it has a very subtle sweet flavor. The tea itself is sweet, and the cinnamon gives it a very sweetish flavor. It has saffron also. So this lately has become one of my favorite teas, called Kava teas. And the rest of the teas you can get in any grocery store. This is dandelion tea. One of my Chinese colleague got it for me, and it's an acquired taste. I am trying because of the medicinal properties. It's dandelion tree. So basically it's the same dandelions which see outside in our yards, and we try to kill them all. This is authentic Chinese tea, and that's again another different type of tea. This is my carafe, which I like to use. I put it on the gas stove. This is a glass carafe. I put it in the glass stove and brews slowly at whatever temperature I desire. And that is one of my favorite gadgets. This is water thermos, water heater, and it takes just a minute. It has a computer chip, so it actually can bring the water to whatever desired temperature I want. Right above it, I have my microwave, but I usually like to heat my water in this because it's much faster, and I do feel I am avoiding the microwaves. So I do like this very much. So if you have to invest, this would be highly recommended for you to buy. Within a minute, the water is heated up to desired temperature. You can already see the hot water. So I think that's the whole thing I wanted to show about how I use water in the form of a hot water, hot teas, the gadgets which I carry my water in, and the different teas which I use to drink, and then lastly the plain water, which is different bottles I use to carry, and what is the ease of each bottle. So enjoy your water drinking. Once again, listen to your body, go with the moderation and slow changes, gradual changes, and your body knows the best for you. Take care and do subscribe to this channel. Thank you.